Welcome to Thomas College. This is a proposed single subject curriculum for high schools. Single subject being like a math class or a English class. My name is Tom Holmes. I'm an associate with Thomas College. Thomas College is a not-for-profit learning organization. Management by consensus. We're modeled after the best learning organizations in the world. We try to live what we teach. For the past 18 years, I've been teaching students age 18 to 88, teaching them to teach each other. Students teaching students. And they love it. We teach life skills. It's like life choices. How to get a job, how to start a company. And in the case of the high schools, your choices. You have choices when you're getting out of high school. You go into a continuing education, which can mean a lot of things, or you're going to get a good job, that's the idea, you've got a diploma, or you're going to start your own company. There's only two questions that are facing you. Who am I? And how can I help? That's it. So you're just looking to find out who you are. And in that process, we look at the idea that you are four beings. You're a spiritual being, you're that's inside, you're a mental being, you're a emotional being, and you're also a physical being. And those interrelate. And as they interrelate, the mental and the emotional are essentially the problem. The solution is in the spiritual and the physical. It's faith with works. That's the idea. You're supposed to do something about it. And in these four concepts, there's some depth to this. There's things that you can look at. It's very specific. It's around behavioral science and social science. Behavioral being the individual, and then the social science being how you interact with groups. Groups are like family, businesses, your school, all the rest of the things where you come in contact with people. They also relate behavioral and social science in that on this side of the equation, it's actually about you. And on this side, these two things are about other people. They cross-relate. These two, spiritual and emotional, are the non-logical. And the logical are in your mind and in your physical relationships and your life, each day of your life. We have instincts, and our instincts are in the same four categories that we were just looking at in the last slide. And the instincts are sex, which is life force, social, that's you're dealing with individuals, and security, which is about how you fit in to the rest of the world. And the fourth instinct is a spiritual. It's sense of destiny. Why am I on this earth? So we continue along the same line of thinking. Again, it's that first slide. It's we're four beings, and this is a continuation of that. We looked at instincts, and now we're looking at disorders and virtues because they coexist. And if you look at this slide, you'll see that they're in three categories. It's a list. So as you look at that and you start to say, oh, okay, where do I fit on that? There's defects, there's symptoms, and there are virtues. And the virtues, the defects match up. And they're in the same four categories we're talking about. But this is about self-evaluation. You want to find out who you are. That's what's going on in those last two slides. The detail of finding out who you are. It's a very exciting journey because when you know that, you're bulletproof for the rest of your life. The wants and needs of a human being. Needs are food, clothing, and shelter. And maybe that's not quite enough. A human being needs something more. We want something to do, we want someone to love, and we want something to hope for. We want order in our lives, in our mind. We want a life with meaning and with purpose, and we want to know what we're supposed to be doing. Why am I on this earth? The conclusion for this is, I want to be happy, I want to be joyous, and I want to be free, and I want to do it every day. This is the road less traveled. It's about human evolution. We're going to be going in this direction.
I've moved disorders over here. I've moved instincts over here. This is the problem. This is the solution. We're moving forward. The little train down here is evolution, and it's moving forward. You're changing, you're twisting and turning. And now as an individual, we're looking at skill building. And we want to base the skills that we are going to add on based on what we've learned from our disorders and virtues and our instincts, our natural instincts. So we're over here. Build your life based on your personality, which you're going to find out what it is, what's good, what's bad about it. On your strengths, very, very specific. Your gifts, your talents, your intention, your intuition, and your virtues. Now we bring up the puzzle of people. People are friction. Some of them are older and they've gone before you. Some of them are complete strangers. And they've said something in your life that's starting to make sense to you. Or it's challenging you. What are you going to do after high school? Questions like that. And you've never thought it through. And we want to overcome that. And when we know who we are and we're building skills, we want to have thought it through before the crisis happens, before one of these people triggers something in us that we're saying, I don't know what to do. And you're going to make a decision under stress. Stress-based decisions. They're typically bad decisions. You might get lucky and it works out great, but typically when you're under stress, you don't make good decisions. Here's a sequence. Life going up and down, a circumstance. Somebody enters your life, something happens. It's life. Life just happens. And it goes down, it goes up, and then it goes down. That's a normal life cycle. Things going along, and everything's going smooth, and hey, you're really enjoying this. And then a crisis hits. You walk into your boss's office and say, hey, Fred, what are we doing? I'm just looking forward to it. He said, by the way, you're fired. You go, what? I got bills to pay. I got responsibilities. What is this? It's crisis. And it's a decision or a circumstance that it goes one of two ways. It's either going to go into something very positive because a door is closed, now another door opens, or you're going to go down. You're going to be unemployed. Now, the fatal flaw is to not do something at that point. That's a crucial point. Don't take a year off. It's a crucial moment in your life. Keep going, doing it in the direction that you want to go so you can continue that way. So it goes up, it goes down. And the second crisis is it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And finally you say, I'm not living like this anymore. And in that crisis, you have the same thing, a learned response. Up here is a learned response. Automatically go into a mode that gets you someplace else. Crisis has created then an arena in the sequence of events that we're talking about for learned response. And preliminary to learned response is a way to adjust your thinking, stimulate your internal flame. In that moment of crisis, and you automatically go there, oh, I know what I want to do. You have alternate outcomes planned and thought through. And those outcomes were for your job at one time. But now you're saying, all right, let's keep rotating this. This is a wheel that's turning like this. The bridge between reality and fantasy is the arts. It's actually best described in music because we want to be part of a better orchestra. And we have been loading our skills based on this world over here, loading our skills to suit what we want to do in the end places. So in current reality and fantasy, that's where you want to start playing with this. Okay, so it's the chaotic world, it's fantasy, it's creativity, it's your right brain in full gear, and then you rotate around because the wheel's going forward. This is progress. You go back to current reality, and that's your left brain, and say, all right, what's the reality here? What's logical? This is not logical, but it's out of the box, and it's good thinking. And it's done in clarity, not done in a world of panic. Now we bounce into the next event, which is resume. What? Resume? I'm in high school. I don't need a resume. You do. You've got a learning over here of who you are. You're patient, you're kind, and it's surfaced as a result of self-examination. And when you're looking at that, you want to be able to take that and start making a statement out of it as to what you're all about. And this is a document. That's all it is. You can write it down. That's nice. And then you put it in a drawer and forget about it. It's an inventory. You've taken a self-inventory. But what you really want to do is say, all right, let's get a practical document, see if we can't make some sense out of this thing, and have it before I graduate from high school that is saying, okay, here's where I am. This is what I'm all about. Seems to be my strong instincts. These are the things that are my personality. I'm a backroom guy, I'm a front room guy, or whatever goes on with you. And you can write that in a story as this guy has. It's a draft resume. This is my story and I'm interesting. And this is interesting enough for you, employer, or your new company. This is really what I want to do. I get what my passion is. And this is a story that sits in your resume. Now your objective is, hey, you want a job, want a good job. We're going after the hidden job market. That's different. Let the employer decide. So your objective is full or part-time employment or work as an independent contractor. These things, your experience, your education, and the personal stuff, that's all simply facts. And those facts will change. And you're looking at an explanation that makes you fascinating enough for somebody to say, let's bring him in. He could fit in with us. The odds are you don't know anything about what they do, but they can teach you. You've got the elements over here that have said, this is who I am. I'm really a quick learner, and a resume is just a base document. It's a working document. You want to get access databases. This is Keystroke list, and it's A to Z. Keystroke is the way we do it. So A to Z can be, it's a private database with millions and millions of companies in it. And you can go and search that by zip code. Well, what we really want people to do is to be able to teach complex technical ideas by simply doing this, going right down the list of those checklists. Do each one of those things. When E comes up, you look on the screen, where's the E, and you punch it and then go on to the next one. You don't even have to know what this is about. You become an instant teacher. And you can do that in the public library, or you can do that with your own computers, two guys sitting down next to each other talking. And we try to have all of our technologies that way, where it's very, very simple. All the decisions have been made for you. And then you can drop that, and 6 months later, pick it up, and you're on your way. So coming out of high school, you should really have a resume. And you think, oh, no, I haven't done anything. I just worked at McDonald's or something. That's not true, because you can make a statement of who you are and what you bring to the party when you're looking at getting a job. Or if you're going to college, this is carrying you for the rest of your life. Circumstances will change, you'll be doing something different, you'll have successes, and you'll be able to fill in the details.
We're after good decisions under stress. So learned response requires no thinking, it requires no emotional input. We instinctively and immediately do a learned, planned reaction. We trust our learned response. We've been trained. We've had the fire drills. Don't take a year off. We don't wander around in a daze. We do take the action. Trust, take the action.
In the few minutes of this video, we've looked at really 3,000 years of behavioral science in the process of understanding self-examination. This incomplete presentation to educators, to foundations, it works for age 18 to 88, and I believe it will electrify high school students as well. Thomas College serves entitlement programs, government entitlement programs, at no cost to the government or their subcontractors. All associates are volunteers. We are based in Palm Springs. We're student-driven. We plan for alternate outcomes. There is nothing new here. Our approach, students teaching students, borrowed classrooms, flash drives, and library computers. Small groups learn technology using keystroke lists. And we have one-on-one instruction for specific projects. And it works. We use what is available. If this interests you, call or email, and we'll talk about it. Thank you.